Boom, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. Bitcoin, which is evidently our favorite asset over here at Waves Capital, has just broken to a new all-time high. And if history is to rhyme, I'm going to assume that we climb higher from here. Now, in this video, I'm not going to cover macroeconomics or some of the under the surface indicators concerning Bitcoin, like global liquidity, stock to flow, whichever of those charts may be your personal favorites. I do have a few content recommendations when it comes to those kind of under the surface indicators. But in this video, I want to focus on the technicals. I want to focus on Bitcoin, primarily on a short to medium term time horizon as we enter the summer months. I'll talk about a few key levels of resistance primarily that are still standing in the way. They're still concerning me personally a little bit. Prior to getting to those, 220, 250 calls that every talking head on CNBC is making. So we'll dive into the charts, talk short to medium term price action once again, maybe delve a little bit long term. But the other primary question that I want to focus this video around is going to be what is going on with miners, at least in my opinion. This is all speculative. Everything is speculative. If you ever hear anyone talking about pretty much anything, it's ultimately speculative. But I obviously just want to give my personal opinion on why I think miners are lagging, why Bitcoin continues to break celebratory new all-time highs, and miners are just breaking hearts. So I'll give you guys my take there. And of course, we'll dive into the big three, RIOT, HUT, and Mara. Okay. We will kick it off with an article here. Just go over the real basics behind this new break. This will take like 20, 30 seconds. But before we do that, jump into the comments, you guys. Get the conversation going. I always like to talk to you guys, especially when it comes to Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. I mean, even if it's any other names in the portfolio, reach out down below, drop a comment, give the video a like for the algo. Also in the comments, tell me happy birthday. Yesterday was my birthday. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high on my birthday, which is pretty sick. Seemed quite appropriate. So yeah, drop a comment, give the video a like. And of course, if you want to know which RIOT, HUT, and Mara call options I'm currently holding in my portfolio, that's going to be the first link in the description. It's my complete portfolio, daily trade alerts, email newsletters, $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months, completely up to you. You get everything that this box here entails, literally every piece of my personal portfolio with my daily trade alert newsletters. This is an example of our trade analysis newsletter from May 20th. You can see here, Bitcoin maintaining an admirable medium-term ascending channel. 4-hour RSI, 4-hour stochastic RSI imply a big move to the upside could be coming by the end of the week. I think new all-time highs are on the horizon. I'm excited to see how those potential highs translate to the price of Bitcoin miners like RIOT and HUT. So one of these were true. The other, I was excited to see, but I'm pretty disappointed with what's going on. We'll talk about that later again. But anyway, you guys, if you do want to break down, if you want to join the team, it's in the first link in the description. I know most of you who are members of the YouTube channel are members of this, but if you are a member of the YouTube channel, join button below this video if you want to do that. Then what are you waiting for? Join the team. Okay, let's get to reading. Bitcoin continued its rally on Thursday, hitting a brand new record high above 111,000. It's been a slow rally for Bitcoin driven by institutional ownership and corporate adoption, easing trade tensions between the US and China, and the Moody's downgrade of US sovereign debt have been key upside catalysts. So this pretty much just covers everything we read here. But this single sentence kind of just is preaching to the choir at this point. Very overhead, but it makes sense to me, so I'll read it. Bitcoin's move has been driven by a mix of positive momentum, growing optimism around U.S. crypto regulation, and continued interest from institutional buyers. James Butterfield, head of research for crypto-focused asset manager CoinShares, told CNBC by email. Okay, yeah, so again, Captain Obvious, but that is what's going on. You guys, the fundamental momentum has been behind Bitcoin for a long time. We've been talking about all of the reasons that we should be bullish on Bitcoin, and we're seeing it come to fruition right now. So before we dive into the charts, I do want to give you guys a few of these crypto recommendations. Halfway through this one, I always enjoy these. Raoul Pal, since I really started trading, since he started posting around, I only started watching this stuff really around like a year before I started posting. So we were around the same time, started posting on YouTube and Real Vision. But Raoul Pal, one of my favorite macro analysts. He's gotten a little more bitter over the years, which I personally like. I think it's funnier, being on the content creation side of things too. But this, he's been on point with most of his macroeconomic calls. Drinks with Raoul. This just came out. Cryptocurrently, I didn't even watch this. This recent one. You know what? I'm gonna make a members only video, members exclusive. We're just watching this with you guys because I haven't watched it yet, so that'll be nice and fresh. But cryptocurrently, stumbled upon this guy like a month ago. Probably a couple months ago now, I guess. Earlier, like around the beginning of the year, so the year's flying by. Cryptocurrently, I like all of this individual's takes. Called this all pretty well, and make some pretty charts too. So check out this guy, and if you want to see a more stumbly, little more sparkly eyed version of myself, talking about why Bitcoin is gold 2.0, not currency, just going over some of the very base level reasons that I was stoked on Bitcoin in the first place and why I invested in Bitcoin back in 2016, 2017 in the first place. Go watch this 4 years ago. It's crazy how far we've come. So thank you if you're still here, if you've been around for that long, let me know in the comments. Yeah, those are all the content recommendations that I have here. Obviously, this one's kind of a joke, but these two, go check those out for some of those macroeconomic indicators. Stock to flow. Again, hash ribbons. Global liquidity is the big one recently. So excited to see what happens here. Bitcoin coming incredibly close. So let's zoom out a little bit here and get macro before we get micro. Okay, Bitcoin is in a very, very clear, very obvious ascending channel pattern here. Okay, this looks great. And if we can break above what is honestly a very daunting level of long-term resistance, like the level of resistance on just that was created by these two prior highs, this would be, as many of you know, absolute resistance. This is just a single candle wick that was really rejected pretty quickly, creating this level of resistance. But Bitcoin, especially when you're talking about all of the traders involved with Bitcoin, I mean, those guys go to the T to some of these absolute lines of resistance. As many of you know, this is like the line of resistance I would personally trade off of right here. But again, broke above that. Have been seeing green really since, significantly above all daily moving averages right now as well. But clearly, this is a level of resistance that I do think will stand in Bitcoin's way. Now, if we do break above that, which we could call like 115 at any point in time from over the next month almost, or couple. If we break this, it's going to happen in the next week or so. So if we do break 115K at any point this week, then I can pretty confidently say that I do think into June, definitely into July, we will be testing the top line of resistance on this macro ascending channel. So once again, keep in mind, I do have a members exclusive that you guys, the members of the video, members of the channel would have seen already, I hope at least, talking about these lines of, again, conservative resistance, the lower thinner line, and then absolute resistance right there, okay? So conservative resistance, I do think we can make our way up there. That is a clear level. Like, this is what every trader and their mom's going to be looking at right here too. So definitely consider taking some profits, especially if you're early on Bitcoin. Like I know many of you guys are. Take some profits around $1.25 if we see it. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you what I might do. This is definitely going to pose some resistance, but if we can break out from this macro ascending channel, then that's when we can get into those exciting 220, 250 numbers. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Let's talk about miners. Okay, so Bitcoin ripping, BITX ripping, should have honestly just played BITX like I was about a month ago. So, kicking myself a little bit for that. And that kind of plays into the first argument that I want to make about why I think Bitcoin miners are lagging so hard. And that's because Bitcoin miners, for as many, like the past couple of years even, have just been underperforming BTC. And these businesses aren't amazing. They're not like super solid. They're not highly profitable businesses. But I mean, if you're equivalent to the amount of Bitcoin that these guys are producing and going to produce, and the hash rate that names like Riot, Hut, and Mara are expanding, just like the mining power they have, they are mining significantly more Bitcoin than before with a higher Bitcoin price. Even though the halving came, and that was the first thing that really tossed a wrench into into the miner game, the miner story, was the halving last year. Okay, so I think that many individuals are just dismayed. They're just sick of getting gut punched by these Bitcoin miners. Retail is like, everyone hates Bitcoin miners. Like, you just look at comments around, people hate Bitcoin miners, which is kind of a good testament to just this general theory I have that people are just sick of Bitcoin miners and they're sick of getting slapped in the face, while other names like MicroStrategy, BITX perform incredibly well. I mean, MicroStrategy is actually lagging today, which is weird, but yeah, I think that's it. There's just shinier objects within the space, BITX being the clearest, like the pure play on Bitcoin. It's just capital better spent elsewhere. And that's just been the game for a while. So that being said, I am still bullish on Bitcoin miners. And that's why many of you know I'm still holding call options. I sharked up some Mara call options this morning as it was pulling back for the first time in a while. I'm still bullish on Bitcoin miners because I still think that these are great companies. Riot primarily. You guys know that Riot is my primary position. I don't know why I did that. I'm just going to refresh this page because I never know how to get out of this thing that I accidentally open all the time. Wow, it didn't refresh. That's sick. Way to disrupt the flow of the video. I think I had to move my fat head. There we go. Pretty sure that's... No? Okay, there we go. Okay. So, anyway, back to it. Bitcoin, again, Bitcoin miners really just underperforming. But I remain bullish on Bitcoin miners. And the reason for that being is I think that once that sentiment shifts, again, the negative sentiment that I was just speaking of, again, just getting gut punched and then kicked in the head, once that flips, once you get a few green days in miners, once the catalyst gives them a few days of momentum, things are going to happen fast. When you look at the past, right, like there have been long periods of lulls, and then things just start ripping again. Low, everyone's bored, and then boom. You get 120% rally. Boom. You get 100% rally. And then you just see like these names, Bitcoin miners specifically, are the kings of absolutely going parabolic after everyone just gets completely sick of them. And that's where I think we're at now. I think everyone's getting sick of them. And I think that this is the calm before the storm, because once that sentiment shifts, things get really, really exciting, really fast. And you just want to be prepared for when that happens. And if it happens, if it does happen, if I'm right about this, then I think it's going to happen soon. Okay. So again, I'm prepared. Again, if you want the exact call options I'm holding, just out of respect for existing portfolio members, that is the first link in the description of the video. It's also in my pinned comment. But as far as price targets are concerned, Riot has a very, very easy short to medium term price target. And that is this prior low here. Okay. So prior low of about 1075, 1070. As you guys know, I'll probably start taking profits around 1040, 1050 just to front run the competition on everyone who's staring at that level. But from there, we have the clear target of conservative resistance. Like you can see the stepping stones, easy targets, conservative resistance, absolute resistance around $12. And then ultimately, I really wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if Riot comes up to break this pretty meaningful line of broken support, test this meaningful line of broken support as new resistance, which results in, like a $13 to $14 Riot, depending upon when it's struck. Okay. So that's Riot. HUT 8 showing a lot more promise than the likes of Riot and Mara today, which again is weird, but I mean, I'm really bullish on HUT. I'm well positioned in HUT. Our HUT position in the portfolio is already up 300%. So, or like nearly 300% as I record this, because we pulled back a little bit, I guess. But I mean, HUT 8 looking good. Conservative resistance tested. Similar to Riot, also a very, very clear short-term target being this level of the prior floor that I believe will come into play as a new ceiling. We then have absolute resistance from there. Then you can see as we zoom out on HUT, HUT is in just a general ascending channel, like macro ascending channel. So just like, and keep in mind, you guys, the price action for all of these is going to be pretty similar because Bitcoin miners track each other overall pretty closely. Overall, I think HUT could come up to this line, the line of conservative resistance on, this long-term ascending channel, which would take us up to, you know, those prior highs that we saw around the end of 2024, around $30 or so, which would be amazing. And then from there, this is even conservative absolute resistance because I'm not using that tippy top touch point, but this is like a solid trend line. I do think that over the summer months, say if Bitcoin does break to $150, $160, 200K plus, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see HUT double from here to, you know, like $35, maybe even higher. Especially considering HUT has been making some very exciting deals with Trump's sons, which, I mean, I don't know how you can dispute the bullishness of that. That's why I'm also bullish on miners. Like last year, Trump was visiting all the mining companies. Like the momentum is in favor of miners. It's just the tech, like it's just the trading aspect of it and like investor sentiment aspect. Mara flipping into the red again. Like just the sentiment is so bad. So once that flips, I think things will get way more exciting. Riot. Of all these, as far as analysts are concerned, like way underrated with the analyst target. Strong buy with a 74% potential upside and like pretty much all buy ratings, I believe. Let's see this. So yeah, 15 strong buys, 1 buy, 1 hold, no sells. So I mean, Riot, I think that the asymmetric risk profile is so strong with Riot, especially, and that's why it's the largest common share position and call options position in my personal portfolio. And I did just add Mara this morning. Mara, I mean, for the most part, you guys, it's going to be like the same general targets. But Mara, long-term descending channel with this right here being kind of just that general through line I'm seeing right here. So translating to, you know, 45% move up around $23. If Mara does, you know, really wake up over these next couple of weeks as Bitcoin climbs higher, which I think it will. Okay, so that's the video, you guys. Again, let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about all this. It's a crazy time, but we do have a reason to celebrate. And yeah, cheers to what the future has in store. The patient prevail. The strong hands always win in the long run. The optimists always win in the long run, for sure. Okay, appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the comments. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.